Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. And before we get started, let me share the bag that I'm currently using. That is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull MM in the Damier Ebene print. Alright, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, and let's get this show on the road, shall we? With the very first question from Nicole Martinez. Do you think that Louis Vuitton will make a Speedy Damier Ebene with rose ballerine interior like the Neverfull? I'm not a fan of the red, gasp, and I'm wary of putting in light colored SLGs for fear of red color transfer. This is an awesome question, and I think it was probably when the rose ballerine first started coming out that I asked my sales associates, and they said they didn't think so, blah, 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 but you never know. I hope someone from Louis Vuitton is listening to this, MMQA is listening to this awesome question, because how amazing would that be? As much as I love the red interior, you guys know I'm a huge fan of red. I think I posted a picture 2 days ago on Instagram just raving about the red interior on the Neverfull. And I just think I would be over the moon if they had a Speedy bandolier Damier Ebene with a rose ballerine interior. I would be all over it, just to add variety to the collection. I don't know, I'm a huge fan. So hopefully, you know, something comes about it and they say, hey, next year we're introducing this. How amazing would that be? How many of you would definitely go out there and buy it if it had the rose ballerine interior? Whether it was the Monogram or the Damier Ebene. How awesome. So I don't know, unfortunately, my sales associates don't know either, so hopefully it's just a matter of time before they introduce them, but great question. Alright, next question from Pitkana Vetchev. Hopefully I said that correctly. About a month ago, I purchased a Chloe Georgia long wallet in the blush pink color. Sadly, I noticed the cracking in the glazing about a week ago. I brought it back and they gave me a new one, which was great. However, I am now afraid that this one will have the same issue, and I'm wondering if I should sell it while it's still brand new and has no cracking. I still love the wallet, but while I was in the store getting it replaced, I spotted the same model in the dark teal color. As you would say, it made my heart sing. So do I keep my blush wallet that I do still like but fear will start to crack, or try to sell it and go for the green one, which may also crack but I don't think it'll be as visible in the dark color, or sell it and go for a different wallet altogether to avoid any possible issues? Any advice would be amazing. This is a great question, and unfortunately when it comes to repairs and replacements, we never know if they're going to end up having the same issues that the first ones had. And I would have to say that when it comes to small leather goods and when you factor in wear and tear and that starts to be an issue, for me, I can only speak for myself, I feel that that kind of takes away from the item. And the reason I say that is because when it comes to small leather goods, I interact with them, or we all interact with them, so much more than with a handbag. And then it kind of, like I said, it kind of takes the joy from using that item. Case in point, the Josephine wallet. For those of you that have been watching me for a while, you guys know that the Josephine wallet, I had it in all three prints, the Damier Ebene, the Damier Azur, and obviously the Monogram. But the Damier Ebene one started to have varnishing issues probably 6 months after I got it, something like that. And I ended up getting it repaired, but I noticed that I wasn't using it as much as before. I was just kind of thinking, you know, I kept thinking in the back of my mind, it's going to happen again, it's going to happen again. And it's almost like waiting for the other shoe to drop, you know, and it took away from using the item. So then I started having bubbling issues. So it was kind of, you know, kind of put on the back burner. I was just thinking, I'm not going to use this item. I'm not going to use this item. And a lot of you also know that when it comes to just having an item sit on the shelf, I would much rather end up selling that item and putting that money towards an item that I will end up using. So I did end up selling the Damier Ebene and the Damier Azur. The only reason I kept this one is because I had had this one for about, I think I've had it now for 4 years, and I didn't have any issues with it. So not only was I crazy about the red with the Monogram canvas, Robert bought this for me, so it kind of added sentimental value to it. And I think that's the only reason why it was a lot easier for me to keep this, you know, and not end up selling all three of them. And it also made it easier for me to kind of detach myself from the other two and just put that towards something else, if that makes any sense. And I have noticed, actually last week I noticed that this has started to have varnishing issues. And I thought I would share with you guys. Check this out. Do you see that right there? Let me bring it as close as I can. Right there. This is starting to lift, and it's starting to lift over here as well. Now, even though I can take this into, you know, to get it repaired, Am I going to end up doing it? I don't know. Probably not. Just because I've had this wallet for so long, it has been through the ringer. It has paid for itself a million times over. And even though I know that the Josephine wallet had the varnishing issues with the Damien Ben one, or it had the bubbling issues that I had before with the little removable coin pouch, I am still a fan of this wallet. As much as, you know, as all the wear that I've had and all the problems, if you will, that I've had with this wallet, I am a huge fan of it. I love the price point. I love the silhouette. I love the simplicity of it. But I still have to be honest, and I still have to say, you know, it ended up having issues. So at the end of the day, if you are a fan of the wallet, if you love the way that the Georgia wallet is set up and you love the leather, then it's something that you could end up keeping in your collection. But I would definitely go for the one that makes your heart sing the most. And between the three that I had, this one ended up making my heart sing the most. And I already knew in the back of my mind that I might end up having wear, which now I do have. Now, I have showed you guys, but again, I've had this wallet for 4 years. So if I were you, I would end up selling the blush one and then either get the teal one. But if you are going to have that same doubt like I had before, you know, that I mentioned with the Damien Ben Josephine, if it's going to take joy away from using the item, then I definitely recommend trying out a different fashion house. And again, even though I've had issues with my Josephine, a lot of you guys haven't, and you've had your wallets for 5 years, 6 years. I've had a few people send me messages. So unfortunately, as I said earlier, we never know how something is going to wear until we use it ourselves. Because, you know, kind of like the Pochette Metis, some of you haven't had any issues with that. I did. I got it replaced, and I haven't had a problem with it since. So it's very, it just, that doubt of never knowing what's going to happen. So again, if you're going to have that doubt, then I would go for a different fashion house. But if you are madly in love with the silhouette, then I would end up keeping it or selling the blush one and going for the teal, whichever one makes your heart sing. So hopefully that was able to help you out. All right, next question from Cheyenne Binder. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I saw on your Instagram page that you might be doing a meetup in San Diego at the Fashion Valley Mall, the Louis Vuitton store in Neiman Marcus to be exact. I was wondering what was happening with that. Okay, so I did post like an interest type of thing on Instagram that I'm thinking about doing, not necessarily a meet and greet, but more so like a hey, let's go shopping together at Louis Vuitton type of situation. And it will actually end up taking place at the freestanding store at Fashion Valley, not the one inside of Neiman Marcus, just because I have a little bit more space. But this is definitely something that I want to do. I've been thinking about possibly doing it in January, definitely after the holiday season, especially because we're all so busy running around and we have family and whatnot. So I want to try to do it in January, if not February, but I would like to have this type of event before we head out to London. Just because I think it would be so much fun to go shopping with you guys at one of our favorite stores. You know, that way you guys can give me like feedback on an item. Hey, I like this item, but well, I don't know, just I think it would be so much fun. And when I was talking to Lauren a few months ago, which is my sales associate at the Fashion Valley, or at the Louis Vuitton store in Fashion Valley, she said, well, how many people do you think would show up? And it's kind of nerve-wracking because I said, I don't know, what if no one shows up? How bad would that be? I'd be so embarrassed. But I did have some people say that they'd end up going. And the problem with having it done or doing this type of come shopping situation at Louis Vuitton is because they only have enough space in the VIP room. And I said, well, how many people can there be? And she said, well, I think maybe 15, at most 20. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, what if more than 15 or 20 people want to come out? There is no way I can ever say, sorry, you're not coming in. I could never in a million years do that. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that that we have enough space. And they said that they'd end up supplying champagne and cupcakes and like do this whole thing. But the thing is that I don't want to interrupt their, you know, their business while they have the store open. So I even threw it out there. I said, what if we shut down the store? What if we do it, you know, at 9 o'clock or what have you? So that way we have the entire store to ourselves. And I don't know if that'll end up happening or not. I have no idea. But I really want to, I really want to do this. I would love to meet you guys. But I don't know if it'll end up working out, if that makes any sense. So I'm still trying to work out the kinks. I'm still trying to see what we can end up doing. So if anything transpires, I will definitely come on here and let you guys know, as well as Instagram. I will post something. But I think it would just be so much fun, especially when she said that they'd bring out pieces so that they can give us like a history lesson on each item, or I don't know, but yes, I am still trying my hardest to get something like this, you know, in the works. So if you guys have any suggestions, if you guys live in San Diego, let me know what you think I should do, because as I said before, it'd be a whole lot of fun. So yes, I'm trying. I'm trying my hardest. And then I also had someone ask, is it going to be during the week? Probably not during the week. I'd say more so on the weekend, just because, you know, some people aren't working on the weekend. So then that way, I don't know, more people can come out. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to make sure that it goes as smoothly as possible. All right, next one from Christine Albert. Mini or wallet on chain? Oh man, I was, you know, I was dreading this question coming up. And the reason that is because a lot of you know that I am a diehard fan of the Chanel wallet on chain. I talk about it all the time. It's one of my favorites. But the Chanel Mini, the rectangular Mini, has definitely opened up my eyes to different, I don't know, to a whole different setup. I love the strap drop, the strap length on the wallet on chain. I love the fact that I don't have to carry a wallet. It's just very simple, super easy to transition from day to night. You just hide the chain and whatnot. So I just love the wallet on chain. Very carefree, especially in the caviar leather. But the rectangular Mini, there is something about this lambskin. There is something about the silhouette that just, I drool all over, I feel like, when I see this item. So between the two, oh man, this is a tough question. If I had to choose between the two, oh man, I'd have to say that the wallet on chain is still my favorite, just because I have used it for so many years and it has never, ever disappointed me. I'm not saying that the Mini will disappoint me, but I've just been with this guy for so many years. It's been through so much, and it has always just made me happy. I've never had an issue. So I think the more and more I use this, maybe my opinion might change. I don't know. But at the moment, the wallet on chain for me still takes the cake. Still. But I do love the Mini. Don't get me wrong. But that is a tough question. All right, next one from Miss Pirate 29. All my life, I wanted a medium classic flap. Now I can finally afford it, and after numerous increases in the UK, I started considering getting one, be it as an investment. I went to the store and picked up the caviar one and was disappointed, to say the least. The leather looked flimsy, and it didn't look like a $4,000 bag at all. Then I looked at the lambskin one, which I have always liked more, and now I can't think of anything else. My only concern is that it will be easier to scratch and it will lose its value. I'm conflicted. I don't want to wait until there's another price increase, so I need to decide soon whether the lambskin is worth getting. Any advice and feedback on the leather? I know you were pleasantly surprised by it. Yes, I was. So even though I do like how carefree, for example, the caviar leather is, I have used all of my caviar leather bags in the rain, and I've never had issues with it. But I will say, as I mentioned earlier, that the lambskin one has kind of opened my eyes to a whole different lineup from Chanel. And I feel that the lambskin is a lot more luxurious looking versus the caviar. I feel that the caviar, when it does end up aging, it tends to have a little bit more of a grayish, like a grayish tint to it, if that makes any sense. Now the lambskin, sometimes, oftentimes I should say, that the quilts will actually end up flattening out. But when you look at the resale value, when you look at the pre-loved market, there are lambskin bags from 20 years ago that are like $3,000. Obviously, they weren't $3,000 20 years ago. So it seems to me that the lambskin is a lot more sought after, as far as even if it's vintage or new, just because of how it looks. It ends up aging a little bit better than the caviar leather, in my opinion. And when it comes to lambskin also, you're able to add leather conditioner and maybe bring it back to life a little bit easier than you would the caviar. Again, because you have the type of pebbles on the caviar here. So as you can see, even though I do have a black caviar walk, it almost looks like it's a little bit gray, and maybe it's because I've used it so much, I have no idea. But this one, it just looks black, and it's just, it seems like the lambskin ends up aging a lot better, and they end up holding their resale value, I mean, insanely well, even with the wear and tear. So as I said before, when you look at the pre-loved market, when you see some of these bags that are 20 years old, 25 years old, they have wear on the corners. They end up having scratch marks on the interior, but they are still selling for $3,000, $3,500, $4,000. Again, it depends on how much of a unicorn item or how much of a unicorn type of silhouette the item is, if that makes any sense. So honestly, if lambskin ends up making your heart sing, you know, louder, if it makes your heart beat faster, then I would go for the lambskin one. But if you're still unsure, I would still take my time, because it is a lot of money to spend on a handbag, and you want to make sure that when you walk away from that counter, you are 100% super happy about it, and you're just like, this is the bag that I want. This is exactly, you know, what makes my heart sing. So definitely end up taking your time. I know a few people had said that there's going to be a price increase again in the UK in January. I'm not trying to start any rumors by any means whatsoever, but I mean, you never know. But I would still take your time. Definitely take your time. But hopefully that was able to help you out. All right, next question from Leah Ange. What can you say about the reverse mono and infrarouge of the Pochette Metis, both with black handles, no worries of Vachetta? The price point is really nice too. Your thoughts? For those of you that don't know, I think it was probably a week ago, or maybe almost 2 weeks now, Louis Vuitton released the Pochette Metis in the infrarouge, which I don't have a picture of. It is all black canvas with the monogram. The monogram here is actually red. And it's a little bit more, it has a little bit of a shinier finish to it, and it has silver hardware. And the interior is bright, it's not bright green, it's more like an army green, a khaki green. And then they also released the reverse Pochette Metis, which I have a picture of, and I will include right now. Now the infrarouge and the reverse Pochette Metis, which is compliments of my very good friend Love for LVCC. Thank you so much for letting me use the picture. Those retail for $1,800 and I wrote it down, $1,830. The regular Pochette Metis retails for $1,700. I do appreciate the reverse more so than the infrarouge, even though I am a huge fan of red and I love black, obviously, and it has a silver hardware. I don't know if it's because it's too shiny. I don't know if it's because it has a green interior, and like we talked about last week, you know, the lining of handbags definitely has something to do with what I end up choosing or what ends up, you know, being added to my collection. So it's not necessarily for me. I do appreciate it, but I don't know, it's maybe a little too edgy for my taste. Now when it comes to the reverse one, you have the reverse on the top, and then you also have it kind of in the little gussets on the side. It is a little bit different. It does have the black Vachetta, and it also has the black microfiber lining that you saw. So it makes it a lot more carefree. I do love that aspect of it. I think maybe I would have liked it to be all reverse, not necessarily have the regular monogram and the reverse on top. It would have, I don't know, I do appreciate them. I think they're really great. I personally prefer the original design, the original one with the monogram canvas. Now, if they came out with a Damier Ebene Pochette Metis, oh, that is a whole different story. But I do appreciate these two. They have a little bit of a higher price point, again, because they're a little bit more, there's a little bit more of a design going on, but they're not for me. It's not something that I would probably add to my collection. But I know they've caused quite a buzz, especially on Instagram. So for those of you that did get that back, congratulations. But for me and my own personal taste, it is not something that I would choose, but great question. All right, Samantha Shiraga. I know I butchered that one. I am so sorry. I am horrible. I'm so bad at this. Maybe I should just say Samantha C. Can you tell me if Louis Vuitton sunglasses if a Louis Vuitton sunglasses case fits inside the Alma BB? Fantastic question. And here I have my Alma BB and I have my Louis Vuitton sunglass case. And it is completely open. And I do have to say that whenever you're thinking about adding the sunglass case inside of your Alma BB, make sure that the zippers are all the way down. Otherwise, there's no way you'll be able to fit it in. Alright, so let's check it out. Yep, it's able to fit in there without a problem, and you still have quite a bit of space for other items. So check that out. It definitely does fit. I thought that I was going to have to put it at an angle, but nope. Let's see that again. Of course, if it's a little bit bulkier when your sunglasses are in there, you might have to put it at a little bit of an angle, but nope. No problems at all. And there it is inside. It's actually laying down. Let's see if I can fix that. Yep, there we go. Still have space for other goodies, so hopefully that visual was able to help. All right, next question from Saint Tropez for me. How do you feel about sponsored / collaboration videos with companies? I know you have featured some companies on your videos, but do you have a selection process? Some YouTubers swear by the product, and it's hard to tell if they really like it or if they say that because they're getting paid. Great question. Okay, how do I feel about sponsored collaboration videos with companies? I can tell you, I have never, ever, ever, ever gotten paid by a company to talk about their product on my channel. Never. And there is a selection process that I actually end up doing. Number one, it has to be something that truly interests me. I've had people say that they want to send me wigs, they want to send me hair extensions, stuff like that. Things that don't interest me. And I'll just say, no thank you, it's not for me, it's not for my channel, it's not something that I would enjoy talking about. I can also tell you that there have been companies that I am truly interested in, the product that they want to send me, and I always ask, well, what are you looking for if you send me this item? Well, we want you to do a sole review on it. We want you to talk about how great it is, how wonderful it is, how this, that, you know, all this other things. And I always respond back to them saying, what if I don't like the product? Can I be honest with my subbies? And they'll say, we would prefer you not to do that. So, if you're gonna be honest, then we would prefer not to send you the product, or we'll send you the product, try it out, and then keep the item. To which I always respond, if something is not gonna work out for me, I will be more than happy to ship it back to you. And then they end up just saying, no, go ahead and keep it. I also always say that if I'm gonna be talking about a product, I would love for my subbies to also be able to get some type of like a coupon code or something to why they're watching my channel, and so that way they can try that product out as well. You know, so I have had companies that'll say, yeah, go for it. If you want to say how great it is, then do it. If you want to talk about how it didn't end up working out for you, then that's fine too. I really like the transparency of those types of companies, because then it really ensures that whenever someone is doing a review, you are getting, you know, they're telling you exactly what they think about it. There's no script. There's nothing like that. So it's unfortunate because, as I said before, I have had companies that I'm genuinely interested in the product, and they're just saying, no, if you're not going to say anything positive about it, then it's not a collaboration that we want to pursue, or go ahead and keep the item and don't say anything about it. So, you know, I am very transparent on my channel. You guys know that. There is no way I can come on here and say, try this product, it's fantastic, without you guys seeing right through me. Especially because I am so expressive. Whenever I do like something, you guys will notice that I start grinning from ear to ear. You know, I start, you know, smiling like an idiot because I really, really like the product. And if I came on here and I said, this is amazing, this is fantastic, you guys will be able to tell Minnie's lying. You know what I mean? I could not do that. So, again, I can only speak for myself. I know a lot of YouTubers that make a living off of YouTube, and that's something that they end up doing. But for me, and how I am, that's not something that interests me. I would much rather a company say, yeah, go for it. If you don't like it, then let us know. Or how can we make it better? Or, you know, something like that. How are you supposed to get genuine feedback if you only expect to hear something positive? So I don't like that aspect of it, but to each their own. So yeah, no, never, ever, ever gotten paid by a company about talking about the product. Nah, doesn't work like that. Alright, so that does it for the Q&A, but I do have a clip that I want to share with you guys. I'm going to be taking the chain off of the Pochette clay. We discussed this last week. I'm going to show you guys what I use and then the end result. That way, if you're interested in doing this yourself, then that way you guys can see what it ends up looking like. So I might end up having Robert help me out, and that way I can film it. I don't know. It might be vice versa. But regardless, I thought I would show you guys a clip of how it goes down. So fingers crossed that it ends up working out. I am a little nervous, so that's going to be at the very end of this video. And I also wanted to let you know that next Monday will be the last Minks Monday for the year. Before I get any evil eyes, any evil looks, it'll be the last one for the year, just because I have a lot of family coming in for the holiday season. We're going to be running errands, and I'm just going to have a house full of people, and I just want to really be able to enjoy the holiday season with my family and whatnot. So the last video that I'll end up posting will be on Saturday, December 17th. But I will still have one more MMQA for you guys, and then I will start up again in January. So I hope you can all understand that. Again, a lot of you know that Christmas time is my favorite holiday. And again, because I have so many people that are going to be in the house, I want to be able to enjoy, you know, just spending time with my family. So I know it's just a small break from YouTube. It's not just Minks Monday. So the last day I film for the year will be the 17th of December. And then, like I said, I'll just start up again in January. But I'm nervous to tell you guys that, because I love doing Minks Monday, but it is a half an hour, and obviously it's not a half an hour when I film, because I have to, you know, condense it all together. So hopefully you guys understand. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I will be back next year with awesome content, I promise. But anyways, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you again so much to my very good friend Love4LVCC for that picture on the reverse Monogram Pochette Metis. And now on to the clip of the Pochette clay. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys. Alright, so the item on the chopping block is the Louis Vuitton Pochette clay in Noir. As most of you know, if you watched my previous Minks Monday, we are going to be removing this chain. I waited for Robert to get off work so he can cut it off, because I don't trust my skills at it. As you can see, it is hot stamped, so it is going to stay in my collection pretty much forever. So we'll see how we take off this chain here, and hopefully it ends up working out okay. Alright, baby doll, are you ready?
Are you ready?
No, but alright, go ahead. Maybe I'll...
Sure?
Yeah. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared. Are you guys scared?
You want the triangle off?
No. Leave the triangle.
You're gonna leave the little triangle on there?
Yeah. We'll start off little baby steps. Dun 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 dun. Are any of you guys hyperventilating like I am? Oh my gosh. Why? Why am I doing this? I feel like I'm too loud on the video. Alright. Can you see okay?
Yeah, it's already...
Careful. Is it hard to do?
Well, I'm trying to be careful so I don't rip anything.
I know.
I don't want to...
I love you for it. It's kind of weird being on this side of the camera. Ooh. Hopefully the camera is steady, because I'm super nervous and I'm not even doing it.
I need to get a different tool.
Alright, so what did you end up getting? What are these? Are these just regular pliers?
Yeah, wire cutters.
Wire cutters.
Alright.
I don't have the lingo down. So what do you have next?
I just got my two multi-tools.
Oh, one to hold it and then the other one to cut it?
To pry it open.
Oh no, is it ruining this?
No, hold it open. Almost. There we go.
Oh, you're opening up the thing. I thought you were going to cut it.
No, you just wanted it off and that.
All right, so let's check it out. So here is the end result. There's a little triangle left on there. I might end up taking the triangle off later on, but for now, it's definitely a lot easier for me to use this as a wallet if I have this taken off. And I can always repurpose this probably on a like a mini pochette or maybe something like that. But check it out. There's no, there's no little scratches on the hardware itself. And I think it looks pretty alright. Da, 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 da. So there we go. The Pochette Cles from Louis Vuitton in Noir without the chain. Chainless. So thank you so much, Robert, for your help. Appreciate it.
Anytime.